Good evening. You're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The Anglo-Omani Society discusses enhancing cooperation in economic, cultural and educational fields. His Excellency the British Ambassador stresses that the investment opportunities in the Sultanate is positive and encouraging. The main committee of Shura Council members' election continues its preparation for the 8th term. And at a cost of more than 27 million Omani Riyals, the construction work of the dual carriageway at Al Rustaq Hill starts. Those are the headlines, and now the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos has received a cable of thanks from His Highness Sheikh Sabah Al Ahmed Al Jabir Al Sabah, Emir of the State of Kuwait, in reply to His Majesty's cable of condolences on the death of Jasim bin Mohammed Abdul Muhsin Al Khurafi, former Speaker of the National Assembly. His Majesty the Sultan has received cable of thanks from His Royal Highness Prince Mohammed bin Naif bin Abdul Aziz Al Saud, in reply to His Majesty's cable of greetings on the occasion of him being named as the Crown Prince, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Interior in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. His Majesty sent a cable of greetings to His Excellency President Dr. Ram Baran Yadav of Nepal on his country's National Day. In order to enhance contact and friendship among the young generation in the Sultanate and the United Kingdom, the Anglo-Omani Society organized a forum under the theme Contact and Cooperation. The Society's activities this year focused on historical relations linking the two countries and ways to enhance them in economic, cultural and educational fields. The annual meeting of the Society targeted Omani youth from various sectors in an endeavor to enhance contact and friendship between them and their British counterparts and exchange of expertise through visits in the two countries. The Society was established in 1976 to strengthen bilateral ties between the Sultanate and the United Kingdom through organizing a number of events in both countries annually. The Public Authority for Investment Promotion and Export Development seeks to increase efforts in marketing fields to attract more investments for the Sultanate. This was stressed by His Highness Said Faisal bin Turki Al Said, Director General of Marketing and Media in the Public Authority for Investment Promotion and Export Development, ITHRA. His Excellency Jonathan Wilkes, British Ambassador accredited to the Sultanate, stressed that the investment opportunities in the Sultanate is positive and encouraged, clarifying that his country's investment will focus during the coming period on non-oil sectors. Meanwhile, he praised the Omani role in the Yemeni file and his endeavor to bring all conflict parties to the dialogue table to spare Yemen from sliding into chaos. Reviewing results of examining candidates' requests for Shura Council memberships for the 8th term, in addition to aspects and fees of advertising for Shura Council members' election, besides the project of auto-sorting for the 8th term election, top discussions of main committee for Shura Council members' election 8th term on its third meeting this year. The committee discussed also opening election centers in GCC countries and the Sultanate Commercial Office in Dubai, as well as approving the model of ballot box. The meeting touched on the technical preparations for the elections. The meeting was chaired by His Excellency Said Khalid bin Hilal Al Busaidi, Under Secretary of the Ministry of Interior. The value of government investments in power sector during the last 10 years have reached to more than 4 billion Omani Riyals, which contributed in the increase in production of the sector by more than 160%. The electricity production increased from 3,000 megawatts in 2005 to 7,600 megawatts in 2014. The power consumption is expected to reach in 2020 to more than 9,500 megawatts. It's expected that the amount allocated for this sector will increase to 350 million Omani Riyals by the end of 2015. Still to come in our news bulletin. The Royal Navy of Oman Music Band continues its participation in Saint-Quentin Music Festival in France. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate Oman Television. Arab-led coalition jets struck several raids in both Sana'a and the border area with Saudi Arabia that killed at least 80 people. An eyewitness said a plane targeted a car that was traveling on the street near some homes and destroyed homes with residents in them. Another strike in the Yemeni capital targeted a special forces base controlled by the Houthis, killing at least 40 people and wounding another 100. The events of the 4th Omani Honey Festival continued for the second day with the wide participation from honey sellers and people concerned in this field. The festival included a number of honey types in addition to a special corner for the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries Wealth, where it introduced an awareness program in the field of culturing honeybees. Now let's take a look at the Muscat securities market trading data from the financial week ended today, the 28th of May 2015. A special report by Saida Tabinda Bukhari.
The MSM 30 index closed today at 6.3 points, recording a decrease of 0.06%. The value traded securities today reached 4.7 million Riyal Omani with an increase of 41.2%. The market capitalization increased by 0.03% against the last trading day, which reached around 14.8 billion Riyal Omani. It is worth mentioning that the value of shares bought by non-Omani investors reached 1,712 Riyal Omani, recording a 37.48% increase. The value of shares sold by non-Omani investors reached 1,632 Riyals Omani at a percentage of 35.7%. The net foreign investment also increased by 1.75%. The top three gainers of this week were Oman Investment and Finance Company with an increase of 2.8% in its closing price of 245 basis. Omnivest with a closing price of 4.6 basis, Al Madina Investment with a closing price of 78 basis. The top three losers of this week were Al Batna Development Investment Holding with a closing price of 120 basis, Renaissance Services with a closing price of 338 basis, and Al Batna Power with a closing price of 197 basis. The top securities traded based on value this week was Oman Telecommunication with a total turnover of above 1.2 million Riyal Omani and an increase of 26.4% in its turnover with a closing price of 1 Riyal 665 basis. And the top securities traded based on volume was Bank Sohar with a closing price of 186 basis. Investors are trying to build better portfolios by concentration on companies with good dividends and better operational strategies. The current decline in the market has also made the prices more attractive for the investors. They are also waiting for the completion of the current subscription period for the Phoenix Power Company, which will be ended on 8th of June. Sayyida Tabinda Bukhari from Muscat Securities Market.
At a cost of more than 27 million Omani Riyals, the construction work of the dual carriageway at Al Rustaq Hill in the Governorate of South Batna started. The project will work on the smooth flow of traffic movement and to limit traffic jams, in addition to creating a modern entrance for the wilaya. The Royal Navy of Oman Music Band continued its participation in Saint-Quentin Music Festival in France. The band presented various musical pieces and shows derived from the Omani heritage. This participation came to strengthen the existing bonds between France and the Sultanate. The festival witnessed a huge attendance from the members of the society and those interested in military music festival. And now for the general weather forecast. Clear to partly cloudy skies will prevail over the coastal areas of the Governorate of Dhofar and the neighbouring mountains, with chances of scattered rains, and the rest of the Sultanate will have clear skies with chances of scattered rains over parts of the Hajar Mountains. Winds will be southerly to southeasterly light to moderate, and seas will be moderate to rough with a maximum wave height of 2.5 meters. This is the Sultanate of Oman Television. Before we enter tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The Anglo-Omani Society discussed enhancing cooperation in economic, cultural and educational fields. His Excellency the British Ambassador stresses that the investment opportunities in the Sultanate is positive and encouraging. The main committee for Shura Council members' election continues its preparation for the 8th term. And at the cost of more than 27 million Omani riyals, the construction work of the dual carriageway at Rustak Hill starts. And with that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here in the newsroom and the studios, we wish you a very good weekend. Good night.